How's it going, people? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another Box to Box. We've got two legs against Liverpool Football Club. Two big matches against Liverpool, the semi-final of the League Cup, and I've got none other than James Redmond with me. What are you saying?
Lads, it's good. You know what I mean? That first time that we've met today, it's a pleasure to see you, lad. You know what I mean? But
you have been on Big Six, obviously. You've been on Big Six
of course,
a couple
we've
times,
spoke before, but in person, this is the first time we've met, so it's good to see you, lads. It's good to do a show, and this is a mad little experience in it, because when you think about it, you just don't know what this game's going to entail. You don't know who's going to start. You don't know how it's going to unfold. You don't know what the atmosphere is going to be like. You don't know if the first leg's going to be dominant or whatever. It's just one of those games. We don't know if we've even got a manager on the sidelines, and so do you. So we have to see what it's chatting. But
we don't even know if the game's going to go ahead right now. As we speak right here, there's a lot of rumours that this game could be called off.
100%, and we're just still going for it. So let's hope for the best.
Well, I say called off. I remember Tottenham last season, early on in the season, they had a Carabao Cup game against Leyton Orient, I think it was.
Yeah.
That Leyton Orient couldn't fulfil because of COVID, and Tottenham got a bye straight through. So
I don't want none of that. This is a semi-final.
Give us a 3-0 first leg win.
This is a semi-final. I will not accept that in the slightest. If we get knocked out because of that, then everything's rigged. Because we need to win this. Do you know what? I know we're going to break down, but when you talk about Liverpool's importance to winning this trophy, Jurgen Klopp needs to add trophies to his record. League Cups count because, Pep Guardiola talks about them, and the fans talk about them for Pep Guardiola. It's still a trophy. I know Premier League is worth more, but they still equal one trophy at the end of the day. So when you get that on top of, I know people are going to question it, but the Super Cup, Club World Cup, Prem and Champions League, that's 5 trophies in 6 years, which doesn't then look as bad as what it could be. So if you just get guaranteed silverware, brilliant, because then you can go into the rest of the season just with an extra bit of confidence knowing you can win other cups.
What do you say to the people that, say Klopp doesn't take this competition seriously? Because we had the super fan debate, and I don't know if it was you or Alex or Doyle that mentioned that this is a semi-final now.
Yeah.
So as much as he hasn't taken it seriously before, this is a semi-final, and not only a semi-final, but against another big club. Maybe not a club that you've been competing with, but a big club.
Nah, it's mad. I feel like we were all saying that in our own little way. We need to make sure, because in the Leicester game, we made changes that it was the third choice. So Trent couldn't play, so usually we'd fill in with Nico Williams, but it was Conor Bradley starting, who's our third choice right back. You probably don't even know who that is.
No, I don't.
Exactly, because he's a youth academy player with very little experience, and we're playing him in a big game like Leicester, where even though they've got injuries, they went as full strength as they could in that game, and it was only until we made changes that it actually turned the heads a bit. It was a great game, but we can't afford to do that against Arsenal, because one, you're a better team than Leicester this year. You've improved attacking-wise. Defensively, you're more... I know we scored 4 last time, but this is completely different circumstances. We don't have the players who's going to be putting in 1, 2, 3 or 4 goals. The way we win this game is narrow, I think.
Because you are still confident about it as well.
Yeah, but it's just... Is Jurgen Klopp going to disappoint me? I think even he, after the Anfield game especially, because after the game he came out and he was like, oh, I've got the love for football. It's nights like this that make me really love this sport. So I hope now he realises how important it is to us, the fans, to win this trophy.
Yeah.
So I'll let him off for the quarters, but he better go strong in these semis, as strong as he can.
Does City, not running away with it because there's still a lot of football to play, but does City's lead in the Premier League right now, and the drop points in recent games for you guys, give this tournament, this cup more emphasis, more?
For me, no. No. Because it was always important. It's always huge. It's not. It doesn't become more I want you to win as many trophies as I can in a season. If you can do that for me, if you can compete on all fronts, FA Cups, League Cups, Champions Leagues, that's the most I can ask. Because you can lose a one-off game, but as long as you're always competing, you will end up getting there. I don't want to have this bullshit where it's just the League Cup. We're Liverpool Football Club. We should be able to go ahead and compete on all fronts.
Yeah. 100%.
Do you know what I'm saying? So, it doesn't change for me, but for the manager and for certain fans, probably, because now they see, oh shit, semi-finals. We're actually not that far away from... Because when you're in round 3, it just feels like it's time away and you're never going to get there. So who gives a fuck? But now that we're here, we might as well go for it.
And it's a massive tie, 2 massive ties, because Tottenham, Chelsea over the other end of the spectrum.
That's another big, interesting game. That's the thing, even if we get past you, which is going to be difficult, we've still got a big problem in Chelsea.
4 of the big 6 still left in the League Cup semi-finals, which kind of gives the over the years, first Mourinho, then Pep Guardiola, they've given this competition, this cup, a bit more clout.
Do you know, if you got to the final, who would you prefer out of Spurs and Chelsea?
Chelsea.
Really?
Yeah, I think Tottenham will be
I
the
prefer
easier game.
Spurs.
I think Tottenham will be the easier game, but I don't want Tottenham close to anything.
I get you. And plus the risk of them beating you in a final, you giving them their first
Yeah, and let's
trophy
say
in God knows how long.
a nightmare happens, and listen, the standard of refereeing in this country, we can debate it every week. It's terrible.
Of course.
So imagine you're down to 10 men in the first 20 minutes and you got Tottenham in the final. I don't even want to imagine that. I don't want that nightmare. So Chelsea, deal with Tottenham, and hopefully we deal with you guys.
Yeah, I just don't like Chelsea, man. They just play
I get
well.
that. I hate both of them.
Yeah,
but Tottenham for me, is a bit more deep rooted.
Plus we beat Tottenham in a final, so I reckon we could have a go at them again if we was to win this game.
Appreciate that as well, because I remember that final and the stress leading up to it. I can't even lie.
Easy.
The stress leading up to that final. So
shittest final I've ever watched, lad.
It is what it is.
Hey, we won, so I don't care.
Listen, James, you mentioned a minute ago about Arsenal, different circumstances, compared us to Leicester, where Leicester is not really going well this season. For us, it is. Arteta, I want to get your opinion on Arteta, because this is one of the first times you've been on AFTV, and I always like asking that question, opposition view on the club and the manager. He's had a lot of criticism over the 2 years,
well,
but it seems like he's rearing his head up, and it's...
Do you know what's mad, yeah? Like, every time I come on here, Arteta's doing well. Like, the last time, it was the Superfan debate last year, where we were doing it in, what's that place called? By Wembley?
Oh, yeah, Box Park.
Box Park.
And was that the FA Cup ones?
Yeah. No, the Community Shield.
Oh, yeah, that's
Shield.
it, yeah.
So, we were doing a Community Shield one, and we were talking about, like, Aubameyang and that, because Aubameyang was heavy at the time. He's just won the FA Cup. Then he went on to beat us in the Community Shield. Like, he was always doing well, and then he went really bad, and I lost me sort of faith in him. Now, I'm not trying to say that I'm fully invested. I don't want to sit here and be like, he's definitely the next Pep Guardiola, but there is certainly...
Because you can't do that. No one can say that.
No, because Pep Guardiola's another level. Like, it's not even fair. But for this early on in his career, with the signings he's made, like Ben White was supposed to be shit. According to a lot of people didn't have faith in 50 million Ben White. Ramsdale got relegated mad amounts of times. I didn't like that though, because he didn't take into consideration he was at shit teams. And he was actually like good for them, so I thought he could have been a bit more generous there. Even like Lokonga, not really experienced. Tavares, Tavares before this season at least. What's your right back? Tomiyasu. I really like Tomiyasu. I think he's a great right back, and he came out of nowhere. So you've got that sort of option, and it's like whether you play Tierney or Tavares, it's usually fine. Like you can make changes to the front line now, like Smith Rowe or Odegaard or both, or same with your wingers. Like he's slowly building that Pep style to where you'll be good for the cup games, but you'll actually be able to compete on more of a front in the Premier League. Getting fourth, like right now you're challenging for fourth. We still need to see if that can be maintained. But off the basis that you've shown this season, there's no reason why you can't get fourth.
If you had to sit here and stick your neck on the line and say Man United, Tottenham, Arsenal, who gets fourth, or even if you include West Ham in there as well, who would you put your money on today getting fourth this season? You're
playing the best football out of all of them, but I'd go with Tottenham. I just think Conte will just it's the Conte effect. Maybe I'm being a bit blinded by it, but and maybe because they played well against us, but we were also really poor in that game. So like,
and you've also seen how pivotal it is to bring in a manager with some experience and some clout and some standard.
And it changes the formation of the squad. Like Jurgen Klopp came in, he lost the finals, but he got us to 2 finals. Which bear in mind at that point it was 3 years since we'd last won a trophy or even been in a final. So it just goes to show like there was progress already being made just because he gave a belief in the squad. And it's the same situation here with Conte. Otherwise, but like by far, I think you're playing the best football. Like when you win more convincingly than Tottenham.
Over the last few weeks, especially after that rough patch of Liverpool, United, Everton, the 3 losses in 4.
Yeah, that was strange.
We've come back.
You need to swerve that. Because United aren't good. Us.
No, 100%.
You can cope losing to us.
I wanted to be more competitive against you guys, but
you actually had a good opening half an hour, so there was still positives in that game to take, even though it weren't the result. Man United, like they were poor when you played them.
In the end.
Everton, worst Everton I've seen, and that's saying something, Turkish. It just goes to show that you should have got points out of them games, but you're beating the teams that you should be as well.
I mean, you look at the Oba situation that's happened amongst all of this as well.
It's weirdly made you better.
Yeah, a lot of people do put, our improved form down to that. A mix of Martinelli coming in, Oba stepping out. It's not so much a case of Arteta, how are you going to make Oba or Lacazette work anymore? Because Oba's kind of, put himself in it where he's not in the picture anymore. Now, the lineup doesn't pick itself, but in a way, circumstances have led to this team being selected.
Not def. Yeah,
It's like Martinelli, you know, would he have got his chance if that didn't, you know...
Yeah, no, Martinelli's took his chance, I think. I think he's shown that there's something there. Even last time when he played us in the League Cup, he had a great game. How many goals did he score again?
In the 5-5.
Yeah, 5-5. Didn't he score 3 goals in that game? Like, he scored a good few anyway. So I know he's a good young player. Even Saka, he's finding a bit more form recently. Before this month, I weren't really, like, fully convinced on the Saka hype, to be dead honest with you. Not to be a hate, I love Emile Smith-Rowe. I think he's been brilliant because he's there in the big moments for us and he actually plays well. I love the way he plays. But Saka, I just didn't feel... I felt his all-round game was there, but he just wasn't capitalising on it. It weren't ending up with end product, and now he's actually getting more goals. So it makes it a more worrying aspect for us.
Talk about worrying, he's being linked to you guys through, you know...
We're not getting
no
him,
sources of reputation, that's why I'm not taking it serious.
We have got no dough. You're going to want about 100 million for Saka, so don't you worry, take your star,
I won't worry, but with 2 years left on his contract in the summer, if this club don't get it sorted quickly,
hey,
we will start worrying.
We like a freebie.
Look at
we
you,
like a freebie.
Yeah, the glisten in your eyes, I just see it. So that's the picture I don't want to see come summer. I want us to sort them contracts out
right
early.
There.
And
the new number 7, because Milner will probably be finished by then.
Look at you. Dreaming already, dreaming of the
Arsenal fans are saying, get this fucking scouser off.
But you mentioned, obviously, Arteta, you was critical of him, and now it looks like, you know, not necessarily eating your words, because you're not saying it's done.
Do you know what? I think I've learned as a football fan, I think I've learned that we shouldn't always judge managers too early. Even Steven Gerrard, who's had a great start to his managerial career, don't judge him too early. It doesn't mean, just because he won the league undefeated with Rangers and now he's doing all right at Aston Villa, doesn't mean he's going to be the man for Liverpool. Like, as much as I'd love that, the fairy tale of him lifting the Premier League just in general as a manager or whatever, like, that would be great, but you can't judge him too soon. And I think nowadays, fans are very quick to react. You know, even with my manager, Jurgen Klopp, like, he never won nothing last season, but when you think of the circumstances, there was no real right to.
Yeah.
This season, we should be at least winning a trophy or two and competing for all of them.
Yeah.
So, but people are just very short-sighted, they're very short-minded, like they forget what these managers have actually done, and you can just go through a rough spell sometimes. So Mikel Arteta, I just think we should have gave him more time before we all jumped on.
Yeah, and I think with the judgment thing, I want to add that works both ways too. I mean, I think not what we are learning, I think we've always known opinions can change, and opinions should change.
Should be allowed, yeah.
Judging early is something, obviously, we're content creators, we're on YouTube, we're asked our opinions, so it's not necessarily a judgment, it's our opinions.
And sometimes it's how you feel in the moment. If you're dead pissed after a loss, you're just there like, fuck this, I don't even want to look at him, I don't want to think about him, I don't want to talk about him, because it's the worst feeling in the world when you just go through them bad patches. Defo.
You know, even with family members, for example, we love our family members, but if you have a big argument with one, ask someone how they feel about that family member 10 minutes after that argument. It's going to be very different to the next 10 days.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Do you know what I mean? Because of the emotion involved in it. That's what
you just love it, lads, and that's why I think we do judge a little bit quick on say even players, like how many players end up proving you wrong and end up being we were talking about it before, like Man City, how many of their players went there in the first season, didn't really do well, and now like just talked about as some of the best in their position. Bernardo Silva, Cancelo, Rodri, like
first season,
Mahrez, you know what I mean? So like, about time, man. But I can also understand why people would Arteta out.
Yeah, because some of those lows were really low.
Bad.
Yeah.
Even with the players at the time, there was no excuse for that.
Yeah, and like you mentioned the good transfers we've done, and those things give more trust.
Defo.
I mentioned this in Supporters Club I've done with other Arsenal fans there. When you buy Willian, and then you have a season where you finish 8th and you have the November and December period where you're just losing every week, what are we meant to judge on apart from that or have our opinions on? But then you have a good summer, good money spent, and you're sitting in the top 4 coming into the new year, that opinion is of course going to change over that time. And you know, bearing all into consideration, I think I marked Arteta a 6 out of 10 when I was asked about it, and I think that's fair. I think that's a good so far so good, especially this season, but we'll see. I think this League Cup will say a lot, because I see you guys forcibly through AFCON and through the League Cup, a lot of changes. So that raises my confidence and my expectation in this semi-final. I expected in the semi-final against Villarreal in the Europa League last season, and we slipped up. Arteta was a part of that false nine, left back issues, whatever. This is a big semi-final, not because the League Cup is big, but because Liverpool is always a big game. I was going to move into predictions. Yeah, go on. What's your prediction?
So for the first leg, I think we're going to draw. I think it's going to be a very close game, and then for the second leg, I think we'll beat you. Yeah. I think that's the way it's going to go. But I think they're both going to be close. I'm not saying we're going to thrash it in the second leg. I think it could be 2-1, 3-1. I don't know if Mane and Salah are back. I don't think they are for that one either.
No, they won't be.
They won't be. So, and even Naby Keita, like, I know he's not of the importance of them two, but he's been in good form this season, man, and he can whack one. So you're kind of lucky that, to be fair, Ramsdale would have probably saved him with the form he's been in. But Keita, he has a long shot on him. Like, he's not unlike Steven Gerrard, but a long shot. Listen, he can hit one. He scored some great goals this season. So he's going to be a miss. Now I'm just thinking, how do we organise our squad? And then that's where it really depends on our lineup.
Yeah.
Like, if we go strong, like, if we start Van Dijk, if we drop Van Dijk, that makes no sense because he's available. So, like, why not just use him? Everyone who's not available, fair enough, but, like, go with your strongest possible team outside. That give yourself the best possible chance to go and win silverware. I believe if we do that, that's the way it'll go. If not, we're probably going to be in trouble because I think you are going to 100% go strong. Because Arteta knows if he wins this and he has 2 trophies in 2.5 years.
Yeah, 2.5.
That's a good start when you think about just the resume of it and the fact that you've got something to look forward to in the future.
100%. Yeah, you had the top 4 challenge to that, or potentially make top 4 with a cup.
You are doing what you should be doing, competing in cups and getting top 4. Yeah. I think if you told Arsenal fans this at the start of the season, they'd be like, fucking hell, what did Arteta do to turn it round?
And a lot of people like to, and have compared Klopp, Liverpool, and, you know, the early work Klopp done and Arteta and whatnot. I don't. But what I want to ask you is, how long from here do you see Arsenal, if we continue this same rise, let's say, or same development, do you see us potentially challenging? Or can't you see it yet?
Nah, you can. It's just, I still question your owners and stuff like that. So, like...
And with Man City and Pep, that machine.
I know, like, the thing is, they're a match made in heaven. The owners to the manager, like, they trust the manager Like, I think Arsenal, they are putting more faith into Mikel Arteta, but they will get to a point where it's like, right, do we go even more, or do we turn back? Kind of like the UFC back in the day when Dana White first took over. They were like, right, we can either go all in and just risk it all, or we'll be fucking bankrupt. We can just go either up. So they went for it, and then you saw what happened. It's kind of like that, but I think Arsenal's owners are not the type to go. I think they're the type to be like, all right, as long as we get fourth, as long as we get fourth, and then they'll get back to that.
They've proven that as well, James. Under Wenger, how many?
This is what I'm saying. So I think Arteta is there to get you back to where, not to be banter, but to fourth.
To get back to where we was originally frustrated, which is mad. It's a crazy turnaround. So you're saying draw first leg, Liverpool win second leg. I'm going for an Arsenal win first leg. I said 3-1 on the Superfan debate, and I think a draw in the second leg. Depending on the lineup as well, I'll make a decision on that one closer to the time. But
I just hope we don't start Joe Gomez.
Yeah, you said that as well, yeah.
I don't want to start Joe Gomez.
Out of form.
I'm just so worried about, like, how many mistakes he's going to make.
And if he was to start, would he be right back?
He would be centre-back, most likely. He can't play right back, but I don't want him as a right back because when you think about our system, we need our right back to be attacking. Nico Williams, who I know, like, a lot of Arsenal fans might not know or might not rate, but he's a good player. Like, he's been doing well on international duty. Every game, like in the Champions League against Porto, all the League Cup games up to now, he's done really, really well. He's stepped up to the plate. Even when he came on against Leicester in the last game, because he never started, he got subbed on, he was brilliant. So I just think someone who's a little bit more offensive, who suits our system, start him, because why not?
Martinelli something to think about.
Because Trent's not available, unfortunately.
Yeah, which is big news for Martinelli, because he's on form and he's going to be on, well, he should be on that side. Again, Arteta might make a whole heap of changes.
Mad.
You know, we don't know how it's going to, you know, be.
If he does, that'd be ridiculous.
It would. It would.
That would put me off him again.
This means more to us than it does to you, in my opinion.
Nah, I suppose, I don't know, I think it means a lot to both of us in certain ways.
I know what you mean in terms of the 5 trophies, 6 years, Klopp's legacy and all of that. Yeah, it's just because
Klopp's tenure is being wasted, like, massively with the lack of spending of the team and the fact he's had to go into finals before with so much shit squad depth. Like, even at Dortmund, he had that problem, he had a great 11, but beyond that was very questionable, and Dortmund didn't like to spend much more outside of that. He had to find gems. Not just him, like the scouting teams of both clubs as well helped him out immensely, but the way he's got them players together, and I just think it's important that he gets his way with many trophies as possible. I don't think you are expected to win a trophy. Arsenal are expected to win trophies, but the competition, like, I think on paper, us and Chelsea should really be winning this more.
Yeah, no, I agree
Does
with
that
that.
make sense?
I agree with that.
That's not me trying to be disrespectful either. It means more to you, though, because you as an Arsenal fan, you know what your club's about.
Yeah.
Do you know, you're not just taking it.
And we've been so far off it recently that
exactly.
even the cups will keep us ticking until
100%.
Potentially we are back.
Like, it still gives you enough fuel to laugh at
yeah,
Spurs
exactly.
fans. Like, listen, I've just fucking won the League Cup. Yeah, you'd be sweet. Skull Thuggery won't be getting on to you.
It. Trust me, I can keep it ticking, man. But James, love for coming on Box to Box.
Right, lad.
James Redmond TV is your own personal channel,
That is the one right there, my mate. James Redmond TV or the Cop TV if you want to see other things as well.
Yeah, people, I'm going to put it in the description below anyway. James Redmond TV, link is there. We'll put it in the title too. So just click the link, subscribe, do what you need to do. Hit the like button and give us your thoughts. First leg, second leg, how do you see this tie working out? I'm hoping it gets, cancelled and we get a 3-0 win going into Anfield. Hopefully the FA sorts that out for us.
No, don't you dare do that.
Love for the love, people. Tune in after the next game. Peace.